Welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling, right? Scrolling through your feed, seeing all these expert takes on beauty stuff. And half the time, it feels like everyone's shouting different things, often really alarmist claims. Man, it's really hard to know what's actually true and what's just, another myth that won't die, isn't it? So today, we're doing a deep dive into demystifying beauty, expert answers to common myths. Think of us as kind of like forensic scientists for your bathroom cabinet. We're cutting through all that noise to get to the science-backed truths. Our mission here is really to give you those solid nuggets of knowledge so you feel genuinely confident and clued in about common ingredients and claims.
Yeah, and what's great is our source material for this is actually an expert Q&A. It really tackles some of the most stubborn myths head on. It offers super clear answers, solid explanations too, that you can use right away to see why some claims just, well, they don't hold water scientifically.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Because the first one we hear so often, it instantly gets a reaction. Are parabens really dangerous? I mean, you see paraben-free everywhere now, right? It creates so much fear. Our source jumps right into this one, doesn't it? What's the main takeaway?
It does, and the direct answer, according to the source, is pretty unequivocal. No, parabens are not dangerous in the amounts used in cosmetics.
Wow, okay. That's a strong statement, especially given how people feel. Can you unpack why? Like, why is that fear misplaced, according to the source? What's the actual science say?
Absolutely. Well, the key thing to get is why they're used. This family of preservatives, they've been really thoroughly studied and approved by regulators all over the world. We're talking authorities like the FDA here in the US and the EU scientific committees. They're just incredibly effective at stopping microbial growth.
Mm-hmm.
Mold, bacteria, the stuff that makes products go bad or become unsafe, especially after you open them. The claims linking them to health risks, they're usually based on misinterpreted data or these animal studies using huge doses, really exaggerated stuff.
Right, doses you'd never, ever get from using lotion or shampoo.
Exactly.
Right.
Far, far beyond anything you'd encounter in real life with a cosmetic product.
So it's kind of like saying water is dangerous, because if you chug 10 gallons at once, context matters. The dose makes the poison, basically.
That's a perfect analogy. It's all about concentration context.
But if the science is that clear, why do these paraben myths stick around so much? Especially in, the clean beauty world.
Well, that's where the deeper insight is, isn't it? The paraben panic is a really powerful example of how fear-based marketing can just steamroll over established science. It really shows how those free-from labels often play on emotion and perception more than actual proven risk. It nudges consumers away from perfectly safe, effective ingredients.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Let's talk sunscreen. A lot of us were taught that physical or mineral filters, zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, they only reflect sunlight, like tiny mirrors on your skin. That image is pretty strong for a lot of people. What does our source say about this whole mirror effect idea? Is it true?
No, that's actually not the full picture. Mineral filters like zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, they both reflect and absorb UV radiation.
Well, okay, so they absorb too, not just bounce it off.
Exactly. That old mirror effect idea. It's pretty outdated, really. Modern research shows these mineral particles are more complex. They scatter UV light, they absorb it, and they reflect it. And how much they do of each depends on things like their particle size, how they're coated in the formula. It's quite sophisticated.
Ah, interesting.
So calling them purely reflective is just, well, it's misleading. It undersells how they actually work.
So they're more dynamic protectors than we thought. That updated understanding actually makes them sound even more effective, doesn't it?
It does. It shows a more complex and, frankly, more robust mechanism for protection. We're getting really solid defense from them.
Okay, so we've covered parabens, sunscreen filters. Let's move to another controversial one, mineral oil. There's this widespread belief, or maybe fear, that it might be carcinogenic. Is cosmetic-grade mineral oil really a cancer risk? What's the verdict?
The verdict is clear. No, cosmetic-grade mineral oil is purified and it is safe.
Okay, so where does the confusion come from then?
Well, the confusion stems from industrial-grade mineral oils.
Mhm.
Those are very different beasts. They can contain impurities, but the cosmetic version, the kind in your skincare, your makeup, it goes through really strict purification processes. All those potentially harmful compounds are removed. Our source is very clear. It does not pose a cancer risk. And big health organizations like the World Health Organization, the EU's safety committees, they've repeatedly confirmed its safety in cosmetics.
Right, so that distinction between industrial and cosmetic grade is absolutely critical.
Absolutely vital.
It's not just a technical detail, is it? It really highlights how much processing and purification goes into making ingredients safe for us.
Yeah.
Something that gets lost in all the online fear sometimes.
Precisely. These ingredients are highly refined for safety and efficacy before they ever reach a product you buy.
All right, let's hit another one that gets a lot of buzz, especially in clean beauty. Silicones. Should we be worried when we see dimethicone or cyclopentasiloxane on the label? Is there a reason to panic?
Absolutely not. No need to panic about silicones.
Really? Why not? Because you hear so much negativity.
Well, the science shows silicones are actually inert. They're non-comedogenic, so they won't clog your pores, and they're non-toxic.
Hmm.
What they do is create this really nice, breathable, protective layer on the skin or hair. Plus, they're fantastic for improving the texture and spreadability of products.
Ah, that silky feeling.
Exactly, that smooth glide you get from a lot of serums or primers,
Hmm.
that's often silicones doing their job. The fear around them is largely driven by, natural and clean beauty marketing stories, not actual scientific evidence.
Hmm.
There's really no data showing harm from cosmetic use.
It's fascinating how those marketing stories can just take hold, even when the science points the other way. And beyond just being safe, it sounds like they actually play a pretty key role in making products feel nice and perform well, which is something people often overlook when they just see silicone-free.
Exactly. They're brilliant emollients, great texture enhancers. Taking them out just for a clean label often means you sacrifice that elegant feel or maybe even some performance aspects. And it's usually done just to fit a marketing trend, not because there's any real scientific need.
Okay, so we've just dismantled 4 pretty big beauty myths. Parabens, sunscreens, mirror effect, mineral oil safety, silicones. What really stands out is how stubborn these myths are, even with clear science. It makes you think, doesn't it? How can you, the listener, navigate this constant flood of beauty info, especially on places like TikTok or Instagram, where, let's be honest, expert advice pops up everywhere?
That's a really crucial question. And the source has a clear answer. You should fact check. Before you share something, before you fully believe it, check it out. Because beauty content moves so fast now, misinformation spreads like wildfire. It's just vital to cross-check claims. Look for credible sources, scientific reviews, comments from actual board-certified dermatologists, regulatory agency statements. Don't just take a viral video at face value, especially if someone's positioning themselves as an expert.
Good advice. And it's not just about the ingredients themselves, is it? It's also about how we talk about beauty and what real expertise even looks like. Our source touched on this too, right? Saying the bar sometimes feels kind of low.
Exactly. The source makes a great point that truly good content, expert content, needs clarity and, importantly, variety in how you describe things. For example, if someone's reviewing, say, a lipstick, and they just keep saying, the finish is nice, the finish, over and over, that shows a really limited vocabulary. It doesn't exactly scream experts.
Right, okay.
They encourage expanding descriptions. Talk about the texture, the pigment payoff, how hydrating it feels, the longevity, how long it lasts. Using that kind of detailed language makes you sound much more polished, more genuinely informed. It's about showing you actually understand the nuances, not just repeating trendy buzzwords.
That's such a valuable point. It really drives home the source's conclusion. The bar for real expertise might seem low right now because there's so much misinformation floating around. But honestly, just knowing the science-backed answers to these common myths, like the ones we discussed, and being able to explain why, that already puts you way ahead. It makes you a much more discerning, informed consumer. So let's quickly recap our deep dive.